Have you ever tried to parallel park and felt the steering wheel suddenly fight you, becoming incredibly heavy? Or maybe the engine idle dips so low it feels like the car is about to stall just because you turned the wheel? If you are nodding your head, you might be dealing with a P0551 code. This code represents a power steering pressure sensor circuit range or performance issue. It sounds like a mouthful, but the concept is actually pretty cool. Back in the old days, steering a car at low speeds was a workout. Then came hydraulic power steering, which made life easier. But the engine needs to know when you are turning the wheel because the power steering pump puts a heavy load on the engine. If the engine is just idling and you turn the wheel hard, that extra load could kill the engine. That is where the pressure sensor comes in. It tells the engine control module, or ECM, that pressure is building up because you are turning. The computer then bumps up the idle speed slightly to compensate for that load. When you get this code, the computer is basically saying it is receiving a signal from that sensor that does not make sense compared to what the car is actually doing. Let's look at what causes this, because it is not always a broken sensor. The symptoms can range from an erratic idle and stalling to choppy intermittent power assist, where the steering feels jerky. You might even hear whining noises or see fluid leaking. Before we dive into electrical testing, we have to start with the most obvious mechanical check. Check your power steering fluid level. If it is low, the system fills with air, the pressure fluctuates wildly, and the sensor sends crazy signals. If the fluid is low, you have a leak somewhere that needs to be fixed first. Don't just top it off and ignore it. Find where that red fluid is going. Also, take a close look at the sensor itself. I have seen many cases where the sensor leaks internally, and the electrical connector gets soaked in oil. If you unplug the sensor and find oil inside the electrical plug, that sensor is toast and needs to be replaced immediately. If the fluid is full and dry, then we look at the circuit. This involves checking the wiring harness for damage. Since these sensors are often near hot and moving parts, wires can melt or rub through. You want to make sure the connector is clicked in tight, and there is no green corrosion on the pins. If you are handy with a multimeter, you can check the sensor's operation by looking for changes in voltage as you turn the wheel. But usually, visual inspection solves this one. A crucial safety tip here: power steering systems operate under very high pressure. Never try to check for pinhole leaks with your bare hands because the fluid can actually inject itself into your skin. Always be careful. Most of the time, fixing a P0551 is as simple as fixing a leak or replacing a relatively inexpensive switch. It is a low-severity code, meaning your car will likely still drive, but ignoring it puts unnecessary strain on your engine and makes your driving experience miserable.